survey, it's newsletter, it's, you know, it's a pretty incredible tool, and it really, there are many out there, some are less expensive. I find it to be very high quality, and I really recommend it. I've been using it for about 4 years now, and I use it for my seminar announcements. I use it for a wedding shower the other day, you know, and I knew who opened it, when they opened it again, who was coming, and they can link back. It's just, it's green. I love it because it's green, and it's cost effective.
So is it, you don't have to know HTML or
No.
whatever?
They write the code behind. You put your information. It is glitchy though, because every square is different. So
I will say this about Constant Contact. They have the best customer support in
Yeah.
7 years. You can actually talk to a live person. They'll actually walk you through the process, or even sometimes do it for you on their end. So that's huge. I'm actually moving to something called Aweber,
Don't do
which I'm sure Darren is an internet guy, so he knows. That has just a few more functions for what I'm trying to do with different membership-only sites and things. So that would be another one I might recommend. But Aweber.com. But really, Constant Contact really is the key. I mean, they're really,
So how scalable is that? I mean,
how what?
scalable, I mean, if you have 100 people, or if you're working as a private enterprise
It's
versus.
$15 a month for
Yeah.
500 contacts.
Yeah.
If you want to add on, you know, practically unlimited photos, then it's another $5. If you want to add on surveying, it's another $5. You know, so you can build based on what you're doing.
It's very, very cost effective.
And
that's
you pay, you know,
per day, isn't it?
when
No.
you
No, that's
pay
just
for the number
500.
of
They
people.
they don't have that limit that some of the other
Okay,
ones do.
because the one that I'm on, which is SwiftPage, has maybe $250 limit per day, and so I just segmented things and
Now
I
you can
sent
send as
it
much
one
as
day
you want
the
as
next.
Constant
Yeah,
Contact.
Constant Contact is
But you can
pretty good
send
about
an
that.
email out every single day if you
Yeah.
want it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I use a service called Net Atlantic that uses, the software is Lyris, Lyris, which is very sophisticated back end. What a lot of people object to with Aweber is that you absolutely have to do double opt-in. And I don't always use double opt-in for my lists.
The other issue with Aweber, I think they're really good, but if you are going to have a shopping cart and try to connect that with the shopping cart, you have to double opt in everybody again.
Yes.
So if you try to export from Aweber going into one shopping cart, you have to get permission from them again to add them to the list. So be
Right.
careful with that.
Oh, good info, thank you.
Because what I do is I use the one shopping cart to connect my games, which gives me different segments, and then I import them into Net Atlantic, which has a better deliverability rate and allows me to track my opens and my click-throughs and that sort of thing. It gets pretty sophisticated after a while, but it's, you know, it's about numbers. It's who's doing what and what's effective. What is that 20% that's giving you, you know, 80% of your business? So, you know, people have this idea sometimes that having an online presence is easy. You know, you just have a website, but you know, I work 8 hours a day sitting in front of the computer working on my website. So, you know, there's a lot of work to be done.
Which brings us to the point that you're making. Who does your web analysis?
The software does it.
Click-throughs and all that?
The software does it. You just go to the page for that mailing, and it's all listed for you.
Yeah, Constant Contact, you get to do all the reports and see who clicked through it,
Yeah.
who didn't. I mean, I've actually used it to follow up. Like, you can put different links in your newsletter,
Yeah.
for instance,
And
and you find, let's say you're promoting an event, or you're promoting your coaching services or whatever, and you see 10 people clicked on it, but they didn't call you. Well, guess who's going to get a call? Those 10 people, because obviously they were interested enough to click on it. So now that gives me really a target market, so now I can reach out to them.
Or you can create, like if 150 people click through, you can create a separate list from that 150 and just do a mailing to those
Great
people.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, last question? Okay.
What is the advantage to Twitter? I heard this is sort of, you say, well.
Yeah, well, I didn't pay a lot of attention to it because some people find an advantage. It is a great advantage for fundraising for nonprofits. And I know coaches who have gotten business as a result of Twitter, but they've been willing to spend more time than I was willing to spend on a daily basis coming up with clever 140 40 characters. Actually, it's 125 because what you
Your name
really
and
want is to be retweeted. And in order to be, you have to say, the idea is for you to say something clever enough that someone retweets your tweet so that you get seen by all their followers. And so you have to leave room for their name.
See, that's a
when
huge
it's
tip.
retweeted.
That's
Huh?
huge. That's a huge tip.
So you really don't want it to be more than 125 characters. But it's time, you know, and there are services like Social Oomph and Hootsuite where you can program your tweets. So you can like write 10 tweets and put them into these services and tell them what time to tweet them out so that you're dribbling content during the day.
And it's really about becoming the subject matter expert in your area, whatever area you are in. And the motto is you tweet when you eat. That's how often we are expected to tweet.
Interesting.
So,
Not about eating.
right,
Yeah,
just the
exactly.
idea is that's how often you want to keep the streak. So again, it's customer touch in the digital world. How often, how frequently are you touching your customers and clients? How witty and wise and expert are you that people want to follow your content?
I mean, I'm really surprised because Twitter has lists now and tells you how many other people's lists you're on. And without trying, I've got, you know, over 5,000 followers and I'm on 50 lists. And a lot of it comes from friend feed because even though I'm only tweeting once a day or twice a day, it all goes onto my friend feed. So people can see everything I'm doing. The other thing I like is Delicious, which is where you keep track of your links. Instead of having it on your favorites on your computer, you put it on Delicious, and people can see what you're interested in. I mean, there's just so many ways to establish this ambient awareness of who you are and what you're doing.
I hate to bring a stop to it, however, there are schedules that some people need to go on.
Yes.
But I want to ask our panelists if you'd be available for a few minutes of questions outside the meeting for a couple minutes.
Couple minutes.
Any
Okay.
closing remarks or anything?
Do it.
Well, if you feel intimidated, there are experts here to help hold your hand through the process. We'd be happy to assist you in any way. And again, if you want a copy of the YouTube video of my portion of it and the Q&A, if that's all right with my colleagues here,
Absolutely.
we will put this on YouTube and you're welcome to have access to that. But I'd like for you to tell me yes, you want that.
And one last thing, if you give me your business card, I'll sign you up for my free success kit. And that will give you a 60-minute radio show that I was on, explaining more about how to increase your sales. There'll also be another link on what I talk on as far as the subjects, so you can give the details and help you increase your sales. And there's another audio on there, how to stay motivated every day. So this is something that I give away free on your website, and what you learn is this is one of the things that you want to do. And I probably average now 10 or 15 a day, just from people sign up that don't even know of, that find this on my Facebook and Twitters and all over. So if you want to see what that technology is like and you want the Motivational Monday video, just give me your card with the email and I'll send it to you.
Thank you, Todd.